this is Jason Palmisano, founder and CEO of Trinity Fitness. I'm here at Trinity Fitness, Lincoln in Nebraska with David Bartlett, DJ. He's got a degree in finance, a minor in economics from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. And the question that we want to ask is, how do we talk to college students about money? What do college students need to know about money, about finance? And it reminds me of the story of when I was in college, DJ. I went to downtown Orlando in this big high-rise building at a friend's request to talk to a financial planner. I was engaged to be married, around 20, 21 years old, and the financial planner said this to me. He said, Jason, my fiance was with me, if you guys would put away $50 a month now, by the time you're in your mid-40s, late 40s, you're going to be millionaires and you won't have to worry about finances. Well, I just remember it being very daunting for me to think about something that was 30 years, 35 years in the future. I thought, part of me was thinking that will never come, or that, and that was so far. But I trusted him and I took his advice of putting $50 a month, and he was talking to me about compound interest and all of that. And so I was excited. We put $50 a month away for 3 months. Then we stopped. And one of the regrets that I have today is not following through with that advice, because now I'm 49 years old and I'm a bit behind the 8 ball as it pertains to the curveball, the financial curve as it pertains to retirement. So what advice would you give to college students today about finance? What should they be thinking about?
Yeah, so when it comes to college, we're definitely going to want to get out of school and get that good paying job. That's why we went to college, to get that degree, to get a higher income. What I encourage post-college students to do when they start earning this money is, hopefully that company you're working with has a 401k. I encourage those students to match that percentage. You don't need to go above that percentage just because you're going to get that 100% return on that percentage for your 401k. So do that first. Start getting a budget in line of how much money is coming in and how much is coming out. Once you guys have that baseline of what's coming in versus what's coming out, you can really start to dial in those finances. And first thing I want to encourage everybody to do is just dial in that giving. Finances are one of the hardest sacrifices for us personally, just to give up to Jesus. But He's the one who has blessed us with this money that He's provided, blessed us with this job that we have. So I encourage everybody to start tithing, giving back to the Lord, because He's going to bless you with even more. He's going to make you fruitful within that position. So get that first, match that 401k percentage. And then, there's so many apps right now to get into investing to get that compounding interest. So, take that $50, start putting it on an app, and if you want to delve into investing in the market, go ahead and do that, because people get so caught up in what's the right stock to invest in, how much money do I need to do. Just start small. You don't need to go anything big like with thousands of dollars, because you want multiple buckets in retirement. So that 401k, I highly encourage everybody to start a Roth IRA, because it has some really good tax advantage benefits in retirement. So the money you earn, you can max out, I think right now, it changes every year, but I think $5,500 is what you can put yearly into a Roth IRA. That's tax-free money when you pull it out in retirement. So it's taxed when you put it in, tax-free when you pull it out. So that's huge, because you're going to be earning more money in retirement later in those years, but you're not going to be taxed at that tax bracket you're at later down the road, because it's taxed when you put it in. So multiple buckets would be the Roth IRA, tax-free money, your 401k to pull out in retirement, your savings account, hopefully, and then that investing that you slowly have fun with throughout the years is going to be huge. But credit card debt is obviously another thing to take care of too. So Dave Ramsey is huge into the snowball effect of paying off the lowest balance first, so then you can start putting more money into those higher balance debt accounts first too. So first the smaller balance, then the larger ones, start to roll back that snowball effect.
Right.
And then life insurance, nobody really wants to talk about death, but it happens. We're all going to pass someday. We're only our healthiest now when we're in our mid-20s, 30s. Dave Ramsey is a huge fan of buy term, invest the rest. I usually give the option to the individual. You can have term insurance, which is super cheap, but it does expire. In my personal experience, when I was selling insurance at the time, doing financial planning, we were doing whole life policies too. There's actually some advantages in retirement with those two. A little bit more expensive. Talk to a financial planner about that, because I usually let that decision fall on the individual. I'll give you two options, but
Right.
So,
DJ, you talked about savings.
Yes.
How much should a college student put into savings, and why? Because you're really not getting a return on that.
Right.
But why would you recommend doing that?
Right. So it's mainly an emergency account, because stuff's going to happen. Your car might break down. You might need to buy a new furnace in your house. Stuff like that's going to happen. I encourage everybody to start by getting $1,000 in your savings account as fast as possible. Once you do that, then you can start slowing down, maybe putting money in your savings just to pay off specific debt that you might have. But $1,000 to start for an emergency. But then you want 6 months of income in a savings account. That sounds like a lot, but think, if you lose your job, if your wife loses your job, something might happen. Life's going to hit us hard. Mm-hmm. I encourage everybody to have 6 months income to where if they're not working, they're going to be okay. That takes off so much stress in our life. But it takes a while to get there, and it takes determination and trusting the Lord to provide for that too.
Right on. You also mentioned credit card debt, which there is a lot of consumer debt. We're so conditioned to buy now, pay later. I want. And of course, advertising and marketing makes it so appealing. That can be a trap that college students can fall into, really that any of us can fall into. Speaking to college students specifically, is there any kind of advice that you would give by way of perhaps a credit card limit that they should look at?
Yeah, so I do encourage college students to start building their credit early. Some of our parents may be like, never get a credit card, don't do it. But it actually teaches you a really vital tool you'll use later in life. If you can build that now by getting a credit card with a very, very low limit, maybe $200, $400, something you can pay off every single month, you're going to start building that credit because you're going to need that later in life. I've heard of new companies coming out and helping people who don't have a credit history buy houses and everything too. So if you are kind of scared, worried about you overusing that credit, don't do it. If you're one of those people who think you might overuse that, don't do it. There's companies now that actually help individuals who don't have any credit history whatsoever buying houses. So I have heard of that. But if you feel like you have the determination to manage that credit, go by all means do it, but start with a very, very low limit.
Discipline.
Yeah. Discipline's key here.
Right on.
Yeah.
I love what you talked about here in this video by way of starting early on your investment. You mentioned compounding interest, and basically what that is having your money work for you. One of the things that I missed out on when I, after 3 months, stopped putting the $50 away is if I would have done that, time would have been on my side and money would have compounded and really worked well for me. Now I'm on the other side of that and time is no longer on my side. So the encouragement here is use time to your advantage. If you're a college student, you're young, be disciplined, take some of that $50. And I think one of the traps that we fall into, DJ, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, is people have a tendency to spend what they make, or maybe just even a little bit more than what they make, and they'll say, well, when I get the promotion, I'll take that money and invest it. But habit says we're going to spend what we make or spend a little bit more. Talk to us about that. Do you see that, and maybe what's a tip or two to avoid that?
Yeah, so it's a trap. It's a huge trap. I've fallen in that trap. I have a finance degree, and I've fallen in the trap. But that's just what this world does to us. There's so much marketing, like you were talking about earlier, to get us to buy this, buy that, all these material goods. And discipline is key. It's that budget of understanding money in versus money out, and don't. If you're really diving into that budget and you realize that more money is coming out than money coming in, then you need to take a look and see what we need to change here. Whether that's giving up, how much you're going out to eat, how much you're buying, all these material goods. One thing that people give up first, which is unfortunately the most important in my opinion, is that giving. That's why I encourage people to give first and don't take that out of the budget if you guys are going over it. There's other things we can give up.
Right.
Discipline is key to getting out of that trap.
Yeah. So we'll close with this. A few things. Giving. It's the only place in the Bible, it's in Malachi chapter 3, where God says, test me in this and see if I won't open up the storehouses of heaven. So he's faithful to provide for us as we're faithful to give back. He provides more. He was faithful with a little, will be entrusted with more. DJ's talked about discipline and finances. I'll give you a quick example from my own life that I have struggled with, especially coming out of college. You want a car. You're getting your first job. You want a good-looking car, something that's reliable, and perhaps in your mind, it's $7,000 is your cap. You're not going to go above $7,000. But you get to the dealership, and all of a sudden, they start talking to you about this bell, that whistle, and well, just for a little bit more, you can have this model, and it's that much newer, and it comes with this warranty. And then we fold a little bit. And we go, well, I know I said 7,000, but it kind of keeps creeping up, and maybe it's 8,500 instead. So discipline is key. Know your limit, set your limit, and stick to your guns on that. DJ, if you were to give a 30-second recap on these bullet points, shoot them to us.
Okay. So remember, discipline is the key to get out of a trap, getting out of debt. So giving first, we're going to look at money in versus money out, just like calories in, calories out when we're talking about fitness and nutrition. Once you get out of school, get that job, match that percentage of your 401k if they have that. Start putting $1,000 in your saving, trying to build that up just in case of emergency. Roth IRA is going to be a really good investment tool. And honestly, look at that life insurance. You never know, something might happen. You want to be able to take care of your family if that happens, so get that in place too. And honestly, if you guys are interested in this, talk to a financial planner. They do know what they're talking about. Find one you trust. That is going to be very important. Ask about these bullet points too. They should know what they're talking about if they understand these, and making sure that they're in your best interest, not in their own. That's the biggest thing with that too.
Right on.
Yeah.
Brother, thank you so much for that input. For a college student, for anybody, that's valuable information.
Good.
Thank you so much.
No problem.